Kyle Booher hasn't been a head coach since 2017. And coincidentally, that's also the last time his New Haven Bulldogs won the NE8 conference. Booher spent the last 2 seasons as an assistant under Jimmy Lynn, who recently stepped away to coach the Bulldogs wrestling program full-time. But nobody in this program is wrestling with the idea that Booher's not fit for this head coaching gig.
He's been in our program for a while now, so he always been there. You know, he's been stepping up for us and making sure we do our job.
My 3 years I've started, he's been my OC, so we're real comfortable with him. He's a great guy. He helps us a lot.
We know he got our back as much as we got his, so that's one thing that makes us ready to play for Coach Booher.
Previously, he was the run game coordinator. Interestingly enough, he expects this year the Bulldogs will throw it more than 50% of the time on offense. And I expect the big reason behind that is because they'll have a 3-year starter at quarterback, Jakar Williams, and he knows this offense inside and out.
So when he does things, like we were at St. Francis and we called some stuff and they changed something at the line and he already checked into a bubble of things that fit what we were kind of doing. And the coach was like, wait, you got a quarterback that's making audibles already? I said, yeah, he knows what he's doing. He knows what the expectations are. So that's a huge thing.
The senior Williams won't have his experienced wideouts from last season to throw to. I'm talking Lane Woodson, who was a first-team all-conference performer, and Jalen Carpenter, who earned second-team honors. Of the 1,700 yards that Williams threw last year, those two combined to catch 1,000 of them. Williams threw 22 touchdowns in 2020, and those two combined to catch 14. But don't sleep on the weapons these Bulldogs do have. Mylan Graham caught 3 touchdowns in the sectional round versus Southside last year as a freshman, and Booher expects him to be a star this season. And James Hardy IV at the tight end spot, that's another name you might want to remember. And you might remember his dad, James Hardy III, who played wide receiver at Indiana before going on to play with the Buffalo Bills. And this Bulldog 6'3" sophomore reminds you a little bit of his dad. Big body, strong hands. Throw Jamarcus Smith in that mix, and this is absolutely a group to keep an eye on.
Them guys, they young, nobody know them, but they gonna know real soon.
We'll throw some deep balls, we'll throw short balls, and wherever they go, those guys go up to make a play and get there.
And don't sleep on Williams' ability to run the ball. He was actually the team's leading rusher in 2020. And between him, Jarrell Jackson, and Quantri Sanders, this team returns almost 1,200 rushing yards and 13 rushing touchdowns. If there's one area of focus this offensive staff has, it's tightening up the technique in the trenches. But this offensive line is coming along.
We have 2 3-year starters and then a couple sophomores in there and a junior filling in. So, you know, the young guys have really been trying to step up, work hard, learn everything. They're just kind of working on their aggression and their levels of confidence.
Well, they've definitely grown on the mental side a lot. They stay mentally strong a lot. They take it serious on the practice field.
The quarterback of the defense will also be a 3-year starter, and that's Isaac Carswell. He's a linebacker. The Bulldogs have to replace Dre Wright, who led them in tackles for the last 2 years, and Jamarion Hagler, who was a second-team all-conference performer at linebacker, and that's up to Carswell and fellow linebacker Michael King to maintain that same level of play. Some notable names both in front of them and behind them on the defensive side of the ball. In the secondary, turnover forcer Trey Thomas, he's back. He picked up 2 fumbles last year and picked off a team-high 3 passes. Also back at safety is Quantri Sanders. He's running the strong side so far, and that's a very aggressive group.
I mean, our DBs are some of the most physical out there, even our corners. I think they're, you know, corners are traditionally known for guys that aren't going to tackle and be very physical, and our group is really good at that.
On the defensive line, Avion Creech is back for his senior season. Now, he actually played more offense last year, but became a second-team all-leaguer on the defensive line in 2020. Now, the last interesting note about this team, in my opinion at least, is their schedule. Only 3 away games, but that includes probably their 2 biggest games, Leo and East Noble. And also look at their Week 3 opponent, Eastbrook. That's a definite test for New Haven early in this season and a new opponent, the newest opponent to pop up on their schedule. Dating back to Kyle Booher's days as the head coach at Madison Grant, he's actually never beaten Eastbrook. But this year, it's a fresh start, and his team kicks it off on August 20th. Until then, this has been Blake Baker with Summit City Sports.